and welcome back to Daniel Does DFW Theater. I'm Daniel. Is that a surprise to you? I hope not, because we're multiple episodes in. Mom, thanks for continuing to watch. Today we have a really exciting guest on my show, one of my really, really good friends. We've just become super close in the past couple of months. Really, it feels like it's just been, we knew immediately that we were going to be besties from the first time that we met. But today on the show, I have, he's actually a double-named person. So I don't get it. I mean, I may go by a different name from now on too. But I have J Dontray, or also known as Jeremy Davis. Everyone. Yay! Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Thank you for having me. Of course. So what is your name?
So my name is Jeremy Davis.
Okay.
When I decided to go equity.
Oh, I forgot to mention she equity.
Yeah, part of the union. Somebody had already had Jeremy Davis. It was this 70-year-old man who had done like 30 Broadway shows. So every time critics would come.
Did you date him?
No, but you know I like him all. That's
why I was like, 70-year-old man.
That's like, but I'm telling you. And every time the critics would come to the theater, they would always put him, and when you click on the name, it would be this old man. So I was like, okay, I gotta find another name. So my middle name is Dontray. So I decided to keep my first initial, my middle name, and my last name.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense to have somebody 60 and somebody 70 with the same name.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pray for you. He needs it.
I know you were to get on your knees, so.
You know what? I knew you were that girl. I knew you were that girl. It's okay though.
But no. Okay, so that explains. So tell me more about the equity part. Let's kind of backtrack here. So when did you become EC?
So I became equity in 2019.
Okay.
I moved to Dallas not even knowing that there was a possible chance that you could be a part of the union. I'm from a very small town.
Waco, right?
Well, I'm from Mahia, Texas, but I moved to Waco in the 5th grade.
You give what?
You know what? We can't curse on this, so I have to be like,
yeah, you can. I can. I can say all the shit I want.
Oh,
but yeah. I've been all around Texas. I've never heard of Mahia.
Yeah, Mahia. M-E-X-I. Yes.
Oh.
M-E-X-I-A.
Amen.
Where there's more cows than people. So,
why do I believe that to be true?
No, that is true. My mom was like, we got to get up out of here, okay? So that's what happened, and that's the truth. I moved from Mahia to Waco, Texas in the 5th grade. And
you were just a little bit baby.
Was a wee little lad.
Yeah.
Just still serving it all my life.
Have you been out your whole life as well?
I came out in the 8th grade.
Oh my gosh.
And I went full balls to the wall out.
Was that difficult in the 50s?
I don't know. You tell me, tramp. Yes.
So we're not going to curse, but we're going to call the host a tramp.
No. With endearment.
Yeah, honestly, it's only with love. I love it too.
Believe it or not, it wasn't as hard. My family was like, pass the butter.
That's it. It doesn't
at the dinner table, like, honey, we knew you were wearing your auntie's Payless shoes, walking up and down the hallway as a runway. Like, we knew that was happening. So
I love that, and the fact that they were just so open.
Yeah. Well, my mother, I was raised by all women. You got to keep that in mind. My mother is the oldest of 4 girls, and my grandmother. So I was surrounded by women.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen.
The femininity was just strong.
It was so strong. Strong black women. Make sure you know that. So,
no, I feel that so much because yes, my dad was very much so part of my life, but I felt like he worked all the time, right, to support us. And so it was just me, my mom, and my sister. And so I'm like, how did y'all not expect this? Like, y'all took me out shopping with y'all and like made me discuss what y'all were wearing. Like, of course this was going to happen at some point, and hung out with all my aunts, right?
Well, clearly you didn't get the taste from them, so.
Oh, honey, I did.
Oh, did you? Where? Anyway, so as we were, so as I was saying.
Yes, please continue.
Can I?
So you moved in 5th grade here to the area. Did you?
I moved to Waco.
Oh, you moved to Waco.
Yes. No, you're right. And the sun didn't shine as bright for me there. I loved it. I had a great childhood, a great upbringing. I mean, I was a cheerleader. I did all these fun things. But the funny thing is I never was in theater.
Can we go back to young Jay at that point? What did you think you wanted to be? Like, what was your dream job?
I honestly didn't have a dream job.
Really? Did you think you'd just be like a farmer like everybody else in the town?
Well, I thought I was going to go to the community college like everybody else did and get me a good old job at the Sonics with the S on the end, a Sonics. It just, being in that time period too, I graduated in 2007. Mm-hmm. So we're talking, mid 2000s on, down.
No, we're the same age. Yeah. I graduated 2007 as well.
So, back in that time, I just knew I wanted to do what made me happy. Mm-hmm. So it was, for me, living in Waco during the week, going to school, going to Mahia on the weekends, spending time with my grandmother and my aunts, going to church, singing in the choir. Mm. That's it. You go to church, you do what you're told. My grandmother owned a beauty shop. So I was always in there helping her, listening to all the old folks gossip, what's going on the corner.
That's where it came from then.
That's it. And I loved it, and to me, I was content until I got to high school. I did band, and I was a cheerleader. And in band, I decided to do color guard. I was known as the Charles Barkley of color guard, by the way. Suede pants and all. Suede pants, Betty Crocker's up in the air, all of it,
We are now cutting to a photo of that. We will
actually may have a couple of them, actually. And I would walk through the halls and I would tell these stories about things that happened on the weekend that really were stories that I heard in the beauty shop. But I would just make them bigger, And the theater teacher, teachers would always stand outside their doors in between the passing periods. And I would always pass by. I wasn't thinking about theater. I had friends that were in theater, but I'm just going by telling my stories. And one day, her name is Mandy Connor. She said, "Come here. Have you ever thought about auditioning for, musical theater?" And I was like, musical theater? Mind you, I'm an only child. So I already have a big imagination because it's just me at home. So I don't have any brothers, any sisters, any of that. So I decided to do it. Zombie Prom was the first show.
Oh my God.
Zombie Prom, guys. It really is a fun show. Honestly, it really is. So I auditioned and got into good old chorus, third person to the left and the back. But I still gave it my all, and I got bit by the bug immediately. But even in that, it was just high school theater. So it was one act play. It was the one musical we did a year. And luckily I was able to kind of audition even though I wasn't in the theater class. So I was the fly one walking around with my t-shirt on Fridays. Like, yeah, I'm not in theater and I'm still in the show. Yes, I'm that good, And
did you ever get any big roles while you were in high school? Or
I did. My first big role was Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh,
and
I played that role too.
Did you?
My senior year.
Kindred Spirit. Well, it was my junior year. Kindred Spirits.
Yeah, I did that exact role.
Mm-hmm. And the second role, believe it or not, is something that's actually coming full circle. Is I was the Wiz in The Wiz, and I was very upset because I wanted to be the lion so bad. But when I walked in and she had painted my whole face on these two big doors that opened to reveal the Wiz, I was like, oh, I'm good. The show is named after me. Duh, I'm good. Like, duh. But it was that. Mm-hmm. Being a young, Black boy, gay, out, open, proud, not caring what anybody thought, that got me through school without being bullied.
I will say, so I was not out in high school, but theater was such a safe space for me that I just felt so comfortable and real with all of those people who, like me, were just acting like something else, right? And so I see where that like really drew you in and made you feel comfortable and real in that moment. So I appreciate that and I value that
Thank you.
a lot. So you said you felt you're coming full circle with The Wiz.
Yeah, I felt like I'm coming full circle in a sense that a lot of those songs in that musical I've auditioned with that now, present day, have led me to be able to make this a career, you know? And back then I didn't know that, you know, I'm just, this is a song, I'm gonna sing my butt off, you know, and call it a day. Mm-hmm. But now I see the significance in that, you know, looking back, and being able to say, I didn't know if I could go back and tell my younger self then where I would be right now and how confident in myself and my skin, even being a plus size guy, still being able to go out and compete with everybody else and get booked, you know, consistently, not once a year, but all the time. It's just, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. If you don't play Eveline one day,
don't nobody bring me no bad news.
Exactly. Well, and I love that you've really taken that and kind of give it your whole life purpose.
Yeah.
In a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, speaking of purpose, why don't we head on over to the piano and we can hear Jay's first song with us today. So we're going to scoot on over and maybe get some Avenue Q in our lives. We'll see you in a bit. Have you ever done Avenue Q before?
I haven't.
You have not? What? I think that this would be a fun show to do, though.
Yeah, I really...
It's always something...
It's on my bucket list.
Is it really?
It really is.
Well,
I just want to be in the show.
Too much time left.
You know what? Purpose. It's that little flame that lights a fire under your ass. Purpose. It keeps you going strong, like a car on a full tank of gas. Everyone else has a purpose, so it's mine. Oh, look, here's a penny. It's from the year I was born. It's a sign. I don't know how I know, but I'm gonna find my purpose. I don't know where I'm gonna look, but I'm gonna find my purpose. Gotta find out, don't wanna wait. Got to be sure that my life will be great. Gotta find my purpose before it's too late. He's gonna find his purpose. Whoa, whoa, I'm gonna find my purpose. He's gonna find yeah. I'm gonna find my purpose. Could be far, could be near, could take a week, a month, or a year. At a job, smoking grass, maybe at a pottery class. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. I'm gonna find my purpose, yeah. I'm gonna find it. What can it be? Where will it be? My purpose in life is a mystery. Gotta find my purpose. Gotta find me. Gotta find your purpose. Whoa, whoa, I'm gonna find my purpose. Gonna find your purpose. Purpose. Yeah. I gotta find me.
So let's get back into Jay for a minute. And so you were in Waco, and then how did you get here? What made you decide Dallas is a place where I need to be?
Okay, so my junior year, my theater teacher did the costumes for the local community theater, Waco Civic Community Theater, and they were doing Seussical. And And so she was like, yeah, just for the musical, Dr. Seuss. So she was like, hey guys, for some extra credit, if y'all audition, whoever gets cast, I'll give you guys some extra credit, for being in the show. Well, I went because I had nothing else. I mean, like I said, I'm an only child. My mom worked 3 jobs. So I was like, let me go try it out. So I worked it out with my mom. She was like, I can drop you off, and I got in, I auditioned, and I got cast as a Wickersham brother. First show. Outside of high school, I didn't know anything about Seussical, but...
And that's a nice substantial role.
Yeah, I mean, and there's just 3 of us, Some schools do it with 16 people, but there's just, 3 Wickersham brothers. And the other 2 were adults, and I was a kid, high school kid. And it was something about that show and the camaraderie and the people there. And I was like, this is it. Like, I go to school every day with my classmates, and you get to know them, but I'm feeling like I'm in a professional field right now. Like, wow, this is so cool that all of these adults are doing this show. And so I went on to do Seussical, and I left because, we do one act play, and so you can't do, So I finished that show, and after I graduated, I went back. I did, I think, 7 consecutive seasons there. Wow. Free. This is full-time community theater where you build the sets, where you do everything, costumes, everything. And I was like, I know the sun is not shining bright for me here in Waco. I've got to figure something out, which led me to getting on the road one day. I looked up auditions in Dallas, Texas, and Garland Civic Theater was auditioning for Legally Blonde the musical. Let me tell you how bad I wanted this role. I just wanted to be in the show. Mm-hmm. I'm still living in Waco. I drive to Garland. I walk in. No one's ever seen me before, so everyone's already looking around like, who is this? I go in. Picture this. I walk in.
Thank you, Sophia Petrillo.
Mm-hmm. I walk in. Now, come close. I walk in. I sing. I leave, right? I'm sitting out in the foyer. The director comes out to use the restroom, and he's like, here, and hands me a side for Professor Callahan. I had done lots of leads by this time at Waco Civic Theater, but he hands me, and I'm thinking, I'm in DFW, and they're handing me Professor Callahan. Oh my God. Yeah. Fast forward 2 weeks, I get cast as Professor Callahan.
Blood in the water, sir.
Blood in the water, darling. I'm still living in Waco.
Oh my God.
I drove every day from Waco to Garland and did not tell anyone that I did not live here. Every day I drove back and forth.
And those were dirt roads back then, so like 3
horse
hours?
and carriage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's an hour and a half of drive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The very first day of rehearsal, I'm driving and I get a blowout. I have to change my own tire for the first time in my life. I changed my own tire. I was that determined to get to that theater. That determined to do the show. Because in my mind, I had already told everybody back in Waco, y'all, I got cast in Dallas, and this is great. Now I wasn't getting paid nothing, but it was just a country bumpkin like me who was determined to make it. I go back to Waco now, and there are still people that were just starting out in the theater when I was there that are still there. And I was like, y'all, there's something better for me. I know there's something better for me. You have to put in the work. They say faith without works is dead. You got to do the work. So I drove back and forth every day. Got done with that show, which leads me to my second audition in DFW, which was at Theater Arlington for Rent.
Oh.
I walk in. I'm still living in Waco. I drive here. I walk in. I sing. I get called back for Collins. And I'm like, I'm getting it. I know I'm getting it. I was the only person that was called back for Collins. I'm scoping out. I'm looking, da-da-dee, da-da-da. I'm sitting in the corner. I'm minding my own business. Callbacks happen. Boom. I walk in. I'm like, I'm finna give y'all Santa Fe down. I'm about to give it to you, right? I hear this jovial voice from beyond the doors. I mean, so deep that I'm like, what's that? So I'm sitting there talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm called back for Collins. I know I'm getting Collins because I was the only one called back. And to this beautiful soul named Major Attaway walked in the doors. I said, hold on. I was here all day. There's callbacks. He wasn't here. They said that's because he was doing another show at a place called Plaza Theater at the time. So he walked in, and I was like, well, let me go on and go home. Let me get my little ham sandwich from Subway on the way home and go on back to Waco because I know I'm not going to get it, especially when you open his mouth and sang. I was like...
Because that voice is booming.
If you want to know who Major Attaway is, come to Theater Arlington and look at the stars out in the front. That'll tell you exactly who he is.
Or look up Aladdin.
Or Little Shop.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I mean,
Little Shop off Broadway.
I mean, and we became friends from that callback. And, you know, it's just like, you know.
Yeah.
But
I love Major. I visited him twice recently as I was taking trips up to New York. And just hanging out with him. He's such a jovial person, just a good energy that I enjoy hanging out with. He's hilarious and sings like nobody's business.
If
I could hit the notes that Major could hit,
and I'm gonna tell you something about
wouldn't
Major.
be doing this podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something about Major. Major can see something in you that you can't see in yourself. Mm-hmm. I met him, and he knew that I had come from Waco. We had this discussion. And he was like, I tell you what, this is what you need to do. Because I'm finally seeing someone that looks like me. Mm-hmm. Someone that looks like me that in my mind, he was a star back then. You know, and he was like, well, this is how you maneuver, this is how you navigate through DFW to find where you need to go. 2 weeks later, I dropped everything I had in Waco and I left and I moved into a hotel room in Dallas and I stayed in a hotel for 3 years. I stayed at the Crown Plaza on Mockingbird Lane and 35 for 3 years, and nobody ever knew that I was houseless. That's how much this meant to me. Wow. I did a plethora. Now I have thank Lord above. I mean, I have a place to live. You know, I'm doing really great now, but I must have did 16 or 17 shows living out of a hotel room.
And no one had any
No
idea.
one had, and not one inkling. Nobody in Waco knew. My mom didn't even know that I was living in a hotel. She thought, you know, and I look back on that now and I'm like, how did I do that for that long? But it was the drive and the determination that I wanted to be somebody. I was like, I don't care what I have to do. It's not about having a story or a testimony at the end. I saw myself being here and I had to do what I had to do to get here. And mind you, I moved to Dallas in 2012. I didn't get my first equity contract until 2015. And that was a big thing for me, you know, but I did so many shows. I did Rent. I was living in a hotel room. I did Shrek as Shrek living in a hotel room. Nobody knew. And it was very cathartic for me because I had a place to, thinking back on it now still just gets me like, oh my God, when I see people nowadays, and you know this because you're in the theater world, when you see people that have a sense of entitlement, and you go into an audition and you see people who walk in and think because they are who they are that they're owed the role, it's like you couldn't even begin to walk a mile in a person like myself's shoes, you know, or anyone. We all have sacrificed and done what we needed to do for this craft because we love it so much. Whether you're, you know, teaching 100 million voice lessons a year, you know, never having any time off, or like me, eating literally Hot Pockets, living in a hotel room. But I was happy. I was content. I was like, I'm going to rehearsal every night. the term I have rehearsal was on my lips every day of the year, which in my mind I was winning. You know, it was crazy
because you were doing what you loved, and that's all that mattered.
And I would do it. I would go back to my hotel. I would be content, and I would get up and do it the next day. And I lasted one day at Chili's. I got through like the initial training, and then one day,
Goodness, you know, that just explains so much of your character to me, knowing that piece now, because I do see you as someone that's just so humble, right? And you meet people where they are at, and that's what I really love and appreciate about you, is that you don't really expect anything, right? Mm-hmm. You will take what people have to offer, and you're like, I accept that, you know? And, but at the same time, you hold yourself and you have this confidence about you that, like I said, just explains it all, because you've built literally from the ground everything you have today.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense why you can hold yourself the way that you do, because you're proud of who you are and where you've come from and where you're at now, even more so. So speaking of doing all those shows and everything, we're going to head on over to the piano for a little bit so we can do one of Jeremy's audition cuts really quickly, which is one of my favorite songs as well, and takes you back to that full circle moment, because it's something from The Wiz. We'll be back. Tell me, Jay, how do you feel?
You know, I feel good in 2024.
Do you? Yeah, it's going to be a good year. I feel it.
Yeah,
too.
I feel it too. I really do.
No.
I do.
Good, I'm glad. Well, let's do a song. Let's do your little audition cut here.
Oh, that's got me lots of bookings.
You heard it here first. Only on Daniel Does DFW.
It's the truth.
I mean, that's all I'm saying. All right, let's go for it.
Would I do if I could suddenly feel and know once again what I feel is real? I could cry, I could smile, I might lay back for a while. Tell me what would I do if I could feel? That was it.
Feel it, girl.
I felt it. It was down in here somewhere, but I felt it. I really did. It was right up in here.
Okay. Could you feel that?
Yes.
Oh, well, you said you couldn't feel earlier, so I was just wondering. Just making sure. No, okay. So let's get into the spillage of the tea. Just a little bit of that of the theater.
Oh,
the theater tea.
The theater tea.
The theater tea. So tell me about that time that you worked for Water Tower.
Which time? Because I worked for... Okay, let me just go ahead. Get your popcorn. The beginning stages of Water Tower were amazing. I mean, Joni Schultz was there. A lot of other fun, people were working in the front office. And they really gave me a big start there. I did a really wonderful show called Battle of Little Joe there, which was a lot of fun. I auditioned for a show there called Sister Act. And
who played Dolores that time?
Cherish Robinson.
Cherish, thank you.
Who did a great job.
Yes. So musically inclined.
Yeah, oh yes, definitely.
So musically inclined.
I'm gonna tell you where the ouch came in from that. And it was, I did the audition. I got called back for Sweaty Eddie. And which, being a big guy, I'm like, I can play any role. As long as your imagination can take you there, I can play any role. Because I know
you could have played Dolores.
Okay, I mean, I'm telling you, I could play.
You would have taken them to heaven.
Oh yes, I would have paradise. So they called me in. I read with every Dolores. They narrowed it down. I read with all the Doloreses again, which were only two. My friend Kim and Cherish. It was down to those two, and I was reading Sweaty Eddie. So,
oh man, sorry. Now I'm thinking of Kim in that role too.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's played it before at Dutch Apple in Pennsylvania, and I saw her, and she was fabulous. So they sent me home, and I walked out thinking, oh, I know I got this. It's Sweaty Eddie. I know I got this role. So the cast list comes, and I get an offer for the ensemble, and that would have been fine. Because I take whatever I can get, you know. You take whatever you can get in this industry.
You thought maybe you could like play the priest or something?
Until the audition notice came back out that they were looking for another Sweaty Eddie. That was the kicker for me. And in that moment, I think that was my 5th show at Water Tower. In that moment, I was taken aback because I was like, I know I just read and did the thing in the room. Y'all offer me ensemble and then you post another audition notice saying that you're looking for a Sweaty Eddie? Okay, maybe I'm not what you're looking for.
And then Major booked the role.
Ooh, that would have been some tea. That would have been some Peter Pumpkin Eater tea right there. No, I did the show because I'm a firm believer in if I start something and I get cast, I finish it. Mm-hmm. The last week of shows, I was applying for Actors Equity Association. That was the show that turned me to Go Equity. Because I felt like, you know, here we are, and we all do this. We all give our all, give our all, give our all. And to not only be told that you're not good enough, but then to be slapped in the face with, oh, by the way, we're still looking for... And by the way, the person who ended up playing the role, Jamal Houston, was amazing. He's a friend of mine. He was great. He was fantastic in the role. But to me, that's what I call zinger, you know, makes you... And I was like, Actors Equity. And voila.
With that, though, are you involved with Actors Equity as well? In a broader sense, or what else do you do?
I am. I'm a co-chair along with Max Swanner. Mm-hmm. We are currently the co-chairs right now for the GBC, which is the Geographically Based Committees, which means that we are in charge of DFW, making sure that everyone who's equity, if they have any questions, if they need to be pointed in the right direction, they need to speak with, you know, anybody that's up in the heads, that we get them that proper information. We also are in charge of the gatherings, the meetings, making sure that, we have some plans in the works this year, like a Tony Watch Party, where we're going to all get together. And, you know, it's about just the camaraderie and making sure that they know that someone's behind them. It's hard. When you join the Actors Equity Association or the union, it's an elite of actors. Now, I will say there are some that are not equity, that are just as great, but...
Here's looking at you. Oh, no. You know who I'm talking about.
Join. It's not too late. But, it's fun. This was the secondary goal that I had once I got to Dallas. I was like, now I got to be equity. Because back then, to be equity, you were the thing. You're like, I'm equity, I'm good, you know. And it's fun. It's great. You know, and to nod my hat to Casa as well, I have to give all props to Vonda K. Bowling, who was my in.
I would just like to say, I think I've said Vonda's name in every single one of my podcasts.
Love you, Vonda.
Yay band.
You know it.
Yay band, because apparently she is that much of a force in our
She's the it girl.
Yes.
She's that girl. She really is. And she's like, oh, come over. And I auditioned for Shrek and got in. And honestly, by the grace, by just because grace and mercy, it's, and unfortunately I lost my grandmother in May of 2023. And she got to see my one-man show that I did at Undermain at Circle. And,
which I heard had really good reviews. Yeah.
Stay tuned. So,
is he going to come back? We don't know.
It may be here, it may be there, it may be everywhere. You never know. But it will be back very soon.
Did you play the guitar in that as well?
No, I did not.
Okay, because who is it about?
It's about Blind Lemon Jefferson, who, side note, is from my hometown.
Stop. So you have a connection to it.
I had no idea who he was. From my hometown, he's also a Libra. When he passed away, he was 33 years old. When I first got the role, I was 33 years old. Wow. So many kindred.
Wow.
And
he's a musician? Or?
He's the first blind musician to be signed. He was founded in Deep Ellum, and he was signed to RCA Records.
Wow.
And he was blind. Unfortunately, he died of a heart attack at a train station in Chicago. And they sent his body home, and they had robbed him. Everything was missing when his body. And on top of that, when his body finally got to the train station, it sat there because nobody knew that it was there. So I have to pay respects to Akeem Babatunde for that. I worked at Lyric, and I did a show with him at Lyric called Abyssinia, and he was like, "Hey, I got something else for you." And before I knew it, I was doing Lonesome Blues.
Yeah, I would love to see. I didn't get to see it when you did it at Circle, because you did it in conjunction with two theaters, I think at the time.
I did it Undermain, and then I took it over to Circle.
That's what it was, yeah. And I just heard that it was phenomenal. That you knocked it out of the park. So that's something that if you bring that back, let us know. We will post that wherever we can to make sure that is announced or whatever. All right, I need your J Dontray. I need some more tea.
What you need?
Tell me whatever you want to spill. Spill me some tea. Give me something.
What you want to know? I got some tea.
Tell me. You don't have to name the theater or the place. Tell me the worst show.
Oh my God. I had to move on that one. I'm so sorry.
To reposition those butt cheeks.
The worst show that I've ever been in.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
The worst show that I've ever been in. I lasted 2 weeks.
Wait, you dropped? What happened to
when I got my contract? When I got my contract, and the name of the previous show was still on my contract, and I was told I had to sell 20 tickets and work the concession stands, as well as buy my own costumes. You're gonna bleep that out, right? I don't want nobody coming for my neck. Okay, I don't want nobody coming for my neck. Yeah. But I've done a lot of work at a theater that is well known in Fort Worth, Texas, called Jubilee Theater. And I have to say, there was a couple of oinkies in that one.
Yeah.
And it's not the show as much as it is the direction and the production staff. And it's the chaos that the show happens in spite of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But we all go through it.
Yeah.
We all go through it. And here's some tea. We all do it. Don't cancel me. We all do it. By this time I had done 4 shows in Dallas, and you couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was the cat's meow. I walked in and was like, "Hey, I'm auditioning for Mr." And they were like, "Okay, cool." And I said, "And by the way, when I finish here, I have a couple of people that want to audition me for a national tour. So if you want to get me, go ahead and get me now." And that was not true. It was not true, and I'm apologizing now, but I did do a very good job as Mr. An outstanding job. So much that when I came out of the stage door, people did not want to talk to me because they thought I was an abuser. But I walked in and I was like, "Look, I'm trying to get in where I can fit in." At this time, you have a little. you know, sometimes you have a little point in your life when you're feeling yourself.
Every night.
You know, and so I walked in and I was like, if y'all want me, y'all better grab me while the getting's good, because I got a couple auditions for some national tours, and I'll be gone.
Did they tell you same day? Were they like?
No, they told me 2 days later. That was after I called them back and said, hey, do y'all want me or not? Like, I'm trying to. I was pretty much playing my own like agent at that time. I told a little white lie. A little white lie. It was now. This was juicy. I actually got 2 roles like that. But
you did it twice.
It was so nice I had to do it twice.
You felt it was okay.
I didn't think it was okay. I was young. I've learned from my wicked ways. I've turned from those wicked ways. And I really try to do everything now. I ground everything. If it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, it's not. And through that, I met some people that have been lifelong friends of mine. I felt like, you know, sometimes you have the devil and the angel. Mm-hmm. I felt like that they morphed. And they were telling me to do that because they knew that that was going to take me on the trajectory that I needed to go. Mm. Because after that happened, it was like I met Vonda. I got to start working at Water Tower. I got to start working at Lyric. It just goes on and on. I met some of the most amazing people that led me over to Casa. Now I'm at Casa. You know, I did a whole juicy, really quick. Can I tell you this really quick story? Dreamgirls, Dallas Theater Center. Picture it. I go to the general calls. They call people back from the generals that they wanted to see, and I was not included. I said, oh no, honey, you're going to see me. You're going to see me. So I go back to the second audition that they had. I get in. We auditioned for an entire year.
Oh, that's right.
An entire year for this Dallas. My first time auditioning at Dallas Theater Center. We're talking about working with the best, the MD from Showtime at the Apollo, like Ricky Tripp, who's been in Hamilton and In the Heights and all of these. I mean, you know, and I got in. Out of all of my friends who auditioned, I was the first one cut at the final callback. After a whole year of auditioning, the first one cut at the final callback where I sang Make Them Hear You for Joel Farrell. Love you, Joel. The Joel Farrell. And
Joel, did he tell you that he had national tour auditions coming up?
No! Oh, you messy. But I did that. And I got in, and that taught me a lesson. I was able to work with Marisha Wallace, who's now over in West End, and Guys and Dolls. And, you know, before that, the viral tape, the viral sensation of her singing her, and I'm telling you, I recorded that.
Oh, wow.
She talked me into, I have the original in my phone. I went up to the 3rd floor during the show and recorded her for her to send that off. It now has like 6 or 7 million views.
Wow.
From what she posted. Like, I got to rub elbows with all of these people that let me know there's a place for me to be. Mm-hmm. Everyone doesn't want to go to Broadway. You know, Broadway is great, but it's not the end all be all for everyone. We're trying to survive here. So I auditioned, I got in that, and it was one of the best things, the best ever for me. But I mean, sometimes you got to do a little bit to get to where you got to go.
I would agree.
I told a couple of white lies. That's it.
So speaking of you making connections and talking with people and being friends with people, let's talk about your best friend, right? We've mentioned her a couple times, but I want to make sure that we do give her a big shout out to Miss Kim.
I love you, Kim Marie Billings. It's my bestie.
Because I want to also talk about this passion project and like this. It's becoming a full force now, more than a passion project, really. Let's talk a little bit about Boat.
Broadway on a Tuesday.
Exactly. So tell me your part in that.
So I'm the co-producer of Broadway on a Tuesday.
Which was developed by
Kim Marie Billings.
Back in
2016.
When did you join?
Well, I've been there since the inception of it. But I came on as co-producer last year at the start of January. You know, we did our January 10th comeback. And she talked me into coming on board. I started as a marketing manager, and moved up to co-producer, and it's been fabulous. I mean, we have some of the best hosts. You would know, right, Mr. Host? Congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah, I am now a current host of Boat, so I'm excited about that. Excited to get to work with you and work with Kim. Right, we just passed our 6th anniversary that we all performed at. Which was Summit, which I mean, I know it's 8 years, but...
Yeah, it's really 8, but with the pandemic, it's 6, because we were down for 2 years, of course, the panorama, so...
But tell me why you love doing that. What is it about Boat?
You know, Boat opens up a different side for me. It's a side where I actually kind of become a scout, almost, if you will, where I get to sit back and watch. I mean, for people who don't know what Boat is, it's Broadway on a Tuesday, and it is a local artist showcase. So artists from DFW and the surrounding areas get to come. They sing up-tempo Broadway tunes. There's lots of, good food and craft cocktails. The host bar is Alexander's on Cedar Springs. It's great. I mean, we have a blast. Don't you agree? We have a blast.
I mean, I never thought I would want to turn up on a Tuesday, but I mean, my friend has almost wrecked her car leaving me. So,
but that's a good turn up. That's a turn up of all turn ups right there. But if I can, I mean, we have a website now.
Yeah, plug it, please.
www.broadwayonatuesday.com. If you go to the website, it will tell you everything you need to know. Please submit. Come sing with us. Yeah. You'll have a great time. I mean, it's a safe space.
It really is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm going to plug, with Jeremy as well, that we are always looking for local people to perform and sing. So yes, submit. That's all you have to do to sing on that Boat stage. It's not, yes, sometimes we have cast nights where it's specifically for shows that are happening in the area. But I would say maybe like 70% of the time, it really is local artists showcase where you can sing, right? DFW local artists can sing. Or if you want to come in from out of town and drive all the way from Waco.
Look, determination.
Then you can do that too. But no, definitely, for sure. And I love, Jeremy's there every week.
Yeah, and it's great. You meet people from all walks of life. And even if you just want to sharpen your skills, it's you have a song you want to try out, you want to see the audience response, reaction, audition song, now it's the whole thing, not a little 32-bar cut. You need to sing the whole song, memorize it now. But it's a fun thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, there's some new and exciting things happening with Boat as well. Like this year we started the Shadowcast shows and stuff like that. And I think that there's more in the works as well that, Kim and Jay are probably going to roll out this year that hopefully we can help announce here as well.
Yeah. And we've been very fortunate to bring on a whole new roster of hosts to add to the ones we already have. And there's something for every genre. And that's what I love. I love that the hosts that we have brought on are top tier, super top tier. And it's just going to be a blast. So come out and...
I could do without 2 of them.
Stop.
I'm just kidding.
Please don't cancel them.
I was going to say a name and we'd bleep it out, but then everyone would get scared, so I ain't going to do it.
Woo! You know what I'm going to do? Grab yours. Clink, clink.
Goodness gracious. No, but thank you for being on the show today. I really appreciate your time, and your want to do it. Jay was the type of person that I texted, hey, what do you think about this? And immediately was like, yeah, there's no question. So I didn't have to track you down or do anything. So I appreciate your time today and your openness, right?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. But before we leave, he is going to sing one more song for us. So we're going to flip over to that. But before we do that, I want to make sure we plug all the socials. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube, which is probably where you're watching it today, at Daniel Does DFW. And then also you can catch us on our Facebook page at Daniel Does DFW as well. So remember to always hang on to those teacups because we're spilling the tea. And we'll see you next time on Daniel Does DFW Theater.
Ask any of the chickies in my pen. They'll tell you I'm the biggest mother hen. I love them all and all of them love me. Because the system works, the system called reciprocity. Got a little motto, always sees me through. When you're good to mama, mama's good to you. There's a lot of favors I'm prepared to do. You do one for mama, she'll do one for you. They say that life is tit for tat, and that's the way I live. So I deserve a lot of tact for what I've got to give. Don't you know that this hand washes that one too? When you're good to mama, mama's good to you. When they pass that basket, folks contribute too. You put in for mama, she'll put out for you. There's a lot of favors I'm prepared to do. You do one for mama, she'll do one for you. The folks at the top, the ladder, are the ones the world adore. So boost me up my ladder, kid, and I'll boost you up yours. Let's all stroke together like the Princeton crew. When you're stroking mama, mama's stroking you. So what's the one conclusion I can bring this number to? When you're good to mama, mama's good to you. Ha! Ha is right. How did that sound? Was it good?
Yes, so good.
Okay.
Cut.
I was trying to listen to the